This video is sponsored by Wildlife Command Center Coffee. More about them at the end of the video. Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back with another One Filmmaker, One Film. And today, my guest is...
Sébastien Godin.
Awesome. And thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. I've wanted you on for a very long time, and I found a very good reason to have you on, which is this double feature from SOVHorror for Slimoids and Dino Gore. And before we get into this, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Why are you here? What's going on?
Who am I? What am I? I am, like I said, I'm Sébastien Godin. I'm a Northern Ontarian independent filmmaker. I make strange films. I make I like monsters, and I like old school horror quite a bit, and I like old retro sci-fi stuff, and I try to emulate all these different aesthetics in what I do. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and I just keep at it. I've been doing this on my own for about going on 6 years now, so that's about it.
And what are some of the films that you've made? Let people know.
I've made like Animator, which was my first feature. I did Ouija Mummy, Slimoids, Dinogore, which we're going to discuss here. The Abominations of Frankenstein, Blood Rites of the Vampire, and I just wrapped a movie called The Damnation of Dracula.
Oh, nice. So you're kind of hitting all the Universal guys then.
Yeah, I grew up reading the classics and watching like Hammer and, like you said, Universal. And I'm not trying to do all of them, mind you. Just like they happen to be characters that crop up that I end up working on.
So you just got done with Dracula. You've done Frankenstein. You've done Vampire. Would Ouija Mummy, would that be considered a mummy movie, or is that not even part of that thing?
I count it, and I even count like Animator as like a Wolfman movie.
Okay, so what do you have left? Creature from the Black Lagoon?
Creature from the Black Lagoon. I'd love to do Phantom of the Opera someday. The Invisible Man, that'd be awesome. There's still a bunch left. So, well, and that brings me to, and I mentioned this to you earlier, that I've collected everything that I have from you, and I show it off. And sometimes it's only one or two things, and sometimes it's a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to show you what I have. You have no idea what I have. So nope.
I'm going to start off with paper, things that are on paper. And through the few years, these have been added into DVDs. So we have this card here.
Oh, I love those things.
Yeah, that was fun. So I got that. Then I'm going to hold this one to last. Then Dino Gore. Love that poster.
Scar.
Oh yeah, that's nice looking. Ouija Mummy. So we got that.
Yeah.
And talking about Universal and monsters and stuff, Jekyll vs. Hyde.
Oh, right. Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Hopefully,
I want to see this.
Yeah, I want to see it too. It's a project I co-directed with a guy named Kai Hornick. We shot it like 2 years ago, and it needs reshoots and pickup shots and all that done. So that's in the hands of producer Dustin Hubbard right now. So hopefully eventually, I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. Like the stuff I've seen from it, I'm looking forward to it. And then we have some Slimoid stuff, which I don't know if Dustin sent me these for Slimoids.
The Shin Godzilla style posters.
Yeah,
I love those things.
So I got that one. I got this one. This one. I think there's because there's 3 Slimoids, so there's 3 Oh, there we go. That's much better without the light on it. So those are cool. And all this stuff that I get from people, I like basically like put it in a safe practically because I just don't want anything to happen to it. And then the last paper thing would be, and then I got the poster for Lycanator.
Yeah, that's Stefan Modman's. It's such good artwork. It's so nice.
And I think this came with the crowdfunding DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this, I actually have, I took it out of its frame, but it's actually framed on my wall because I love the poster so much.
That makes me happy.
Yeah. And I like the film. I still, with the amount of movies you've made now, it's still one of my favorites. I like it. I like it a lot.
It's crazy.
Well, yeah, because, you know, some things that are not perfect are really good. You know, it's just,
it's true.
Yeah. It's just, they can be flawed and, you know, and they're still really good. So, so we looked at this and I'm going to show people, there's like the side of it, the back of it, and look what you get. So people go order this because it's going to go out of print soon. So you get I'm going to try to keep this a little bit in there. There we go. You get 2 movies, and then you also get director's audio commentary on both movies done by Seb. And I've already listened to some of them, and it's very good. You give a lot of information out, especially Dino Gore. And then there's a trailer reel for you. There's the interview with Dino Gore writer Jacob Dressler, interview with producer Dustin Hubbard. So this is definitely worth picking up, and it's SOVHorror. And I promote their stuff all the time because I really like what they do. There's the inside. I think their DVDs look really good. I like the colors and everything on them. And then you have, looks like another poster here, or a like cover for the DVD. So this looks really good. I like this one a lot. And then
Tony does great stuff.
Yeah, he does. He really does. I've had him on the show too, and we talked a long time about it. So now let's go back in time. This is one of the first things I ever bought from you.
Flesh Flower. I'm so proud of that one. I'm so happy somebody has that DVD. I love that short.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. And oh, there's something inside of it. Let's see what's inside. Thanks for the support. And you put a monster on there.
Yeah, I used to do little doodles in all my DVDs.
And this tells you how kind of raw this movie is. It's just a
burnt disc.
Yeah. There's the back, and you got your side on it. So this is good if you guys can. And then there's your, to John, have a goo day. A goo day. So that's cool. So yeah, I'm really happy about this. I like the green box on it and all that stuff. And then we got the Lycanator box here. So that's what I helped out on crowdfunding for it. I thought it sounded really cool.
Yeah, that artwork there is by a guy named Tim Tyler, who does a lot of stuff for SRS.
Yeah, it looks like it's signed by, I think that's Dustin. I think that's who I got it from after the.
Yeah, that's Dustin's signature.
And then the back of it. It's just such a cool creature. Oh, there we go. I think he's just so cool looking.
Yeah.
I did a great job on him.
Yeah, that's all Toby Johansson, who's somebody else who you should have on the show sometime.
Oh, okay, good. I'll reach out to him. I think I'm friends with him.
Yeah.
And then we have.
Ooh.
I remember you guys talking about this. Now, why?
Yeah.
And I know a bunch of us bought it because of its issue. What is the problem with this version?
Wild Eye released a 43-minute rough cut with unfinished audio.
Did they not ask you? Did they not watch it?
They didn't ask. They didn't reach out. One day I woke up and that was up for pre-order, and then when it came out, I just found out that was the wrong cut.
Oh, jeez. Was it like, send us the version just so we can look at it and see if we want to release it, and then they just never bothered asking for anything else?
I just never heard anything.
Just never heard anything? It's very Reanimator looking on the front. with the green and all that.
Yeah.
And even this is kind of reanimator-ish. But you got a great picture of the creature on the back there. And it says, beware the big bad slimy wolf. I've always liked that.
Yeah, it's a good package. It's just the wrong cut of the movie.
So this is a rarity, people. Pick it up if you can. And the bonus features on it are making of, behind the scenes, short film, and trailers. So even though this is the wrong cut, you still get some good bonus stuff on it.
Yeah.
And then because I like to support, I had to own another copy of it.
The good version.
Yes, so this is from Wild Eye, and this is part of their Raw and Extreme. That's a good cover too. You guys got good covers.
I love that cover.
Yeah, and it's unrated. And then there's the back. So it looks like the same back.
Yeah, I think they just copied it.
Yeah, different. Oh, well, here they get a little more into detail. So bonus features, behind the scenes, short film, fresh flower, and trailers. So there they actually list what the short film is. And it's warning, extreme content recommended for ages 18 plus. Ooh.
You know, it's funny because I always said that movie should be watched by very weird high schoolers who want to get into making movies, because that's the target audience.
It's trippy, or you could get really high. Oh, what fell out?
Yeah, you could.
Something fell out. Oh, they sent a sticker.
Oh, nice.
Well, I used to do a lot of that. They used to send out like candy eyes and little posters with magnets.
They have like animator stickers. I've never seen one in person, but they exist.
See, I thought, because I went through what I have, my big bag of stuff, I could swear I had a button. And it was like this was on the button or something. But I couldn't find it. And I'm like, no, I know I have it. But the inside is nice too. Because I like when they do this, the clear box. So
I like that too.
And then, so guys, go out and buy this. You can get this right from Wild Eye. So go out and pick it up. It's worth it. It's fun. And then I have the novelization.
Oh, the novelization, the book. I love the book. It's everything I couldn't shoot.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think
like Indy McDaniel.
Yeah, and I gave this to Dustin, I think, to take up to Canada, or maybe it's when you were in Florida, but I have it's signed.
Oh, that's awesome. I do remember signing that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be you. And I believe that's Dustin, but I'm not sure who that is.
I can't really make that out. Maybe it's I'm not sure who that'd be.
Yeah, but it's cool. I appreciate it. So thank you for signing it. So, and then we got, of course, Slimoids. Dude, I'm telling you, I think I own more movies from you than anybody. And they're all the same film. Man, they're just different versions.
Yeah, I know. There have been so many releases.
Now, this, I don't think, this I put into a green box because I figured it had to have a green box. I think I got it in a black box, but I said, nope, it's got to have a green box on it. And this is the special edition, and this is one that was, I think, also from crowdfunding, wasn't it?
Actually, we didn't crowdfund Slimoids. That would have been the version that Dustin Hubbard self-distributed, which he still sells. You can still get them from him.
Oh, okay, good, because Slimoids is fun. And dig the little Slimoids right here. So that's fun.
Yeah.
And nice to eat you. And this, there's the back of it. That's a good ad-line. And it has on it extras are commentary with writer-director. That would be you. And then, oh, and editor, director of photography. So we got Seb and John on here.
Yep.
So this is a different audio commentary than the one that's on the SOVHorror.
The one on the SOV, that's the cool thing with the SOV release, is that is the commentary I recorded exclusively for that release. So once it's out of print, that commentary goes with it.
Yeah, so pick it up, people. Pick it up.
Yeah.
And it's got the... Damn, this background. I like this. This is a good insert.
Yeah, Tim Tyler again.
And you got the whole right in her eye. Was that intentional? I like when people do that.
That was intentional. Yeah.
That's funny. So, and we're almost done. I'm telling you, man, I got a lot of stuff here. Then we got this from Oldies.
Yeah. They decided to release Slimoids, which really surprised me because initially they weren't interested at all. And then they needed something to go with Fungus Among Us, so they got me back at the last minute and asked if they could have it.
Yeah, it's a good double feature. It's I enjoyed the Fungus Among Us. There's a lot of fungus.
Josh Kennedy is great.
Yeah. And then that's the inside of it, which they just give you. It's a catalog. So, but it's a good. I like how they split up the DVD like that. Give you guys both credit. Just not like
I was very
blank with the name.
I was very happy with how they released it.
And then I got both of these from Dustin Hubbard because since I did a little cameo in Dino Gore, he gave me the white version and the black version.
I'm happy you mentioned that now because I want everyone here to know that I've often been told John's scene in Dino Gore is the funniest part of the movie.
Thank you. I did that on my lunch. I was at work. I'm like, what can I do? Well, behind it, it'll be like hiding from the dinosaurs in a storage unit, and I ate my coworker.
It's great.
No, well, thank you. Yeah, there's a bunch of good cameos in this, so it's fun seeing all of us together. So, and so he sent me both of these, which is great, and so they got. So they're the same. They just have different covers and stuff, just different colors.
One, the white one's by Joe Meredith.
He is so good.
One's One Star. Yeah, he is.
Both of these guys are really good. I know Joe. A lot of us do, and we always look forward to his films and art. And his stuff is amazing. This is really good too. And but I'm more partial to Joe just because he's done art for me, so I'm a little biased, I guess. And this is he is, and I can't wait to see his new film. And this says, warning, this film is not rated and contains graphic horror, violence, drug content, and adult language. I don't know if I can watch this, and maybe too adult for me.
Oh dear, I don't know if I should have made this.
Yeah. And so the inside. So this is fun. So this has this here, and you got an alternate.
Funny thing about that alternate art, the foot, that's my bearded dragon.
Oh, that's right. I remember you used to show pictures with him.
Yeah.
That's funny. That looks really good.
Right over there.
Keeping an eye on you. Yeah. And then this one has the same insert, but it just has the different disc inside. And one last one, and then this will bring us up to date on what I own, which is Ouija Mummy.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that one. You know, we shot Ouija Mummy in 3 days, same schedule as Dino Gore, but it was a great location, and I had a great cast, and Clint shooting it, and it turned out so well. I really liked Ouija Mummy. It's
she makes a great mummy. I love how you guys dressed her up. I thought she looked great. Yeah. I wanted more. I was actually kind of bummed. Like, no, I want more.
Me too. If we had just another day, we could have probably done more stuff with that.
Same thing. Apparently, I bought these right from Wildlife. Yeah, I really like it. So, and this one's written by Dustin Hubbard, directed by you. Special, the bonus, you get commentary. So the bonus features commentary and trailers.
Yep, I think it's Dustin and Clint on the commentary.
Okay. Oh, you're not involved? Oh, Clint Kelly?
Yeah, Clint Kelly.
That'd be interesting. So that is everything I own from you now that I seem like a stalker and own all your stuff. Is there anything in here you don't own that I have?
I don't have any copies of Ouija Mummy, and I don't have any copies of like Animator.
Oh, really? Why is that?
I just never got any.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I would think that you would own those, at least one copy of each. But I've heard that from other people. Like, I'll show them stuff I have, and then they'll be like, wow, you have stuff I don't even have. And I'm like, yeah, but you made the movie. So I always make sure to get stuff. I got to have stuff. Even if I have like a little cameo, I at least want one copy. So, yeah. So, all right. So that brings us then to, I'm going to start with Slimoids, to the SOVHorror, Slimoids, Dino Gore double feature DVD. And so Slimoids, it was made in 2018. It's unrated, and it's 49 minutes and 12 seconds. Melting Man Films, that's your company, and Seaward Productions, that would be Dustin's.
Yep.
Okay. And I like the credits with the animated tentacle that is going around that we see kind of throughout the movie. Who did the animated tentacle?
So like, yeah, throughout the movie, there'll be like stop motion inserts of the Slimoids. Those were done by a guy named Tori Haas, who actually built the big dinosaur puppet for Dinogore as well.
Oh.
Tori directed a movie that Wild Eye put out called The Neon Dead. He's a really talented creature designer.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of the film, but I haven't seen it. So I actually looked it up because you mentioned it in the commentary, and I'm like, oh, I know that poster, but I just haven't seen it. So it looks cool for the poster. And we have the legendary Brink Stevens is the voice of the Being.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, you know, Dustin Hubbard, he'd worked with Brink before and gotten her work before. And it just so happened that she was going to be at a convention I was going to be at. So we talked, and you know, she agreed. We recorded all of the lines in her hotel room.
Oh, wow.
And you know, Brink's amazing. She's so good. Like,
she's awesome.
She's a legend.
Yeah,
she's been in so much stuff. You've worked with her, John, so you understand what I mean.
On Meetup 4, yeah. She was very nice, very awesome to work with.
And I'm sure you understand what I mean when I say she's very much like a director's actor, in the sense that you can tell her something and she'll immediately get what you're saying and do it.
Yeah, she was very easy to work with. And when we were in Pahrump, I literally got her a trailer. So she was in like a mobile home, one of those ones that just sits, it doesn't move. And so when people would ask, where's Brink? I'd go, oh, she's in her trailer. So it sounded like a real Hollywood movie by using the word trailer in there. So it wasn't she was upstairs, not that she was outside. It was, yeah, she's in her trailer. And so, yeah, she was great to work with, and I'd love to work with her again.
Yeah, same.
And what was the decision to have her do the voice and not the actress that plays the Being?
Yeah, the whole role was always designed that I would get somebody local to, you know, be the villain's body, and then have someone of name value do the voice. You know, it's kind of like the Darth Vader thing, how they had James Earl Jones do Darth Vader's voice. I just thought it would be like a good, cost-effective way of having some kind of name talent play the lead villain.
Okay. And the because it worked, because the actress who plays the Being has the mask on her face, so you didn't even have to sync up the voice or anything.
No, exactly. I designed the entire character right from the get-go to have like a covered mouth, so that I wouldn't have to dub lines too thoroughly. And yeah, it worked out. I think it works.
Yeah, and you mentioned Darth Vader, is that she kind of moves like Darth Vader in a way. You know how Vader's like, you go over here and do this, and you go do that. And she kind of does the same thing with, you know, with the voice. Is she's like, yes, you know, she kind of moves with her hands as she's talking. So it does kind of fit the whole kind of Darth Vader, you know, dubbing and acting.
Yeah, I was kind of like approaching it like a silent film when I was directing those scenes. So, you know, when you're doing silent film, you have to really like put your, more energy into your movement because you have no voice.
Right. And she was good in it. I liked her. I liked how she looked. I liked kind of like the curly hair that hangs down. I liked the mask. I liked her like lab coat, where she had like the different colors that I'm taking were supposed to be kind of blood and, maybe Slimoid blood or something, or was just something off of them. So I liked her. I thought that she looked really good.
Yeah, and it's weird because like the character's design in my head, it went through so many different variations, and it's so difficult to do something like that when you're working with no money. The budget for Slimoids was like $800, like $800. Yeah. So originally I thought the character would be like an alien, and you would just have like maybe like a space suit or something like that. And then I decided to go with the mad scientist thing, and luckily, the actress who played the physical performance of the being, she had like a black dress. So I thought, well, the black dress will contrast nicely with the lab coat, and I'll just spray some blood and slime on it, and that'll be that. It works pretty good. I mean, it shows its no budget nature, but I think it's kind of charming in that sense.
I mean, I think it definitely works, and it shows it's kind of like a makeshift lab. That because it's mentioned later in the film that they were a group and then they all separated and she's the leader. So, yeah, I mean, I could see her creating her own lab. I mean, in a room or a garage or, wherever it might be. So it totally works.
Yeah, that was a friend's garage.
Yeah, I like it. So, and then the creatures were designed by Dustin Mills.
Yeah, the great Dustin Mills, one of my dearest friends and one of my favorite people to work with. If you haven't seen any of the movies he's made, you got to see Skinless, Slaughterhouse Slumber Party, Puppet Monster Massacre. The dude makes amazing stuff.
Yeah, and he does these puppets that are, or Slimoids that are. I'm trying to see if there's a. Yeah, that's one of them there.
Yeah,
and they're hand puppets, right?
Yeah, they're all they were built around socks, so they're almost like literal sock puppets.
Oh, that's funny. How did you design them? Like what? Because all three are very unique.
I kind of like, the cool thing with Dustin and I is that we have a lot of the same influences. We like a lot of the same stuff, so I can just drop a vague idea on him, and then he'll like make a sketch of it, and it'll be exactly what I want, and then he just makes it.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, because have they ever been used in anything else, or were these specialty just for you?
They were just for this. Yeah.
Will they pop up at anything else at some point, like as an Easter egg, anything like that?
Dustin Hubbard wants to do another Slimoids movie, so they'll probably end up there if that happens.
Yeah, because for a while you were doing the crowdfunding for Slimoids 2, and was it Dinogore or Dinogore 2?
Yeah, Dinogore and Slimoids 2 are going to be a double feature, but I barely got enough money to just make Dinogore, so Slimoids 2 never happened.
That sucks, because I gave to that, and that to me bummed me out, because I wanted to see Slimoids 2. So
it was the script was good too.
I think
rub it in.
Well, I think people get confused, because I was told that when I was doing crowdfunding for Axmas 3 and 4. I was told by a couple of people, like, people may not know that it's a double feature. They may not know what they're giving to. Is it part 3? Is it part 4? What is it? Even though I thought I explained it very well, and to the point of like hitting it over your head, it took a big effort to even hit that goal. And it's like, I don't know, maybe I should have just done 3 and then done 4. Maybe people would have understood it better. So I don't know. Maybe if it was just Slimoids 2, maybe would have, it might have hit it and then do Dinogore later.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, yeah, that there's a lot to be said about that, but at the same time, it's like I made that mistake and I can't change it now. So
right, yeah, it's a learning experience. That's So
sure. Every movie is a learning experience.
Well, maybe if you called it Amityville Slimoids 2 and Amityville Dinogore, maybe you would have gotten money, because apparently that's the only films that people are giving money to are films with Amityville in the title.
Amityville Dinosaur and Amityville Slimoids. You know, those are things Dustin Hubbard would probably love to make.
I'll bring it up to him, but I have to get a thank you for bringing it up. My idea. Now we have guests, like special guests that are in Slimoids, and that's like Rob Suze. We got David Parker. Dustin Hubbard does a cameo. We got Kate. Is it Phoenix?
Kate Phoenix, who also came up with the title. Like Slimoids was a word she said. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Then Toby Johansson. We got Phil Herman. Brett Kelly. I mean, this thing is littered with cameos.
I tried to like make it a kind of who's who of no budget filmmakers. I thought that would have been a fun angle to go with it. So yeah, I got as many as I could in there.
Yeah, and I like your I like the scene that has the test experiments that are being done. And that was nice because that's some of these people that I just mentioned. One was Rob, I believe one is Dave Parker, and then the other one is Toby Johansson. So that was fun. Did they shoot those scenes or did you shoot those scenes?
Yeah, back in those, I say those days, it was only like 4 years ago now. But anyways, like then I was doing a lot of stuff with mail-in cameos because they were easy ways of getting people I liked into things. I don't really do them anymore. But those were all things that people shot on their own and then would mail into me.
It matched. Did you have to alter the footage at all?
That'd be a question for John Keach, who edited it, because I can't tell you. I sent him the footage and then he works the magic.
And yeah, because it looks good. And then Toby Johansson, he on top of the tentacle, he also did the creature hands for the being.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
So that looks good. So you got him doing two things. We got executive producers. Once again, man, I'm telling you, you got a bunch of named people in this. We got Lucas Wagner, Rob Suze, you got Toby Johansson. It's produced by Dustin Hubbard. You directed the film. The director of photography and editor is John Keach? John Keach?
John Keach, yep.
Okay. Screenplay is by you. And then the story is by Kat and by you. And then I don't want to talk about the very end. Not yet. Now, I want to talk about one person in particular, and I have not brought him up because every once in a while you find that director that just gels with an actor. Ed Wood had his Bela Lugosi, Scorsese has his De Niro. You have Steve Walls.
Yeah, I love Steve Walls.
He is, I have to tell you, when I first watched Slimoids, I went, what is up with this guy? I don't get it. I don't understand it. This is like my third viewing of it. I love the guy. I think he's great. And I hope that he is in every movie that you make. I think that he is so interesting. So who is Steve Walls? What is a Steve Walls? What is going on with him with his acting? It's so interesting.
Okay, who is Steve Walls? I met Steve Walls when I was working in a call center, and he would just make me laugh so hard that I said, oh God, I got to put this guy in a movie. So when I did Slimoids, I came up with this detective character, and I asked him if he'd do it, and he said, yeah, sure. And then he started, I say action, and he starts doing this thing with his eye. And I'm like, oh, wait, cut, John, what are you doing? Steve, what are you doing? And he said, well, I'm trying to be Jonathan Banks.
The guy from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So I said, you know what? Do it. I want to see how people are going to react to this, because I love memorable performances. I like unique characters. So I said, go for it. See what happens. And then, yeah, dude, everyone who sees Slimoids says, who is this guy? They all love him, and I love Steve, so that makes me happy.
Yeah, he, along with the being, because of just the whole character itself, and then Bring Stevens, that stands out. but he just, the squinting and I don't know, what's going on? Huh? What? And it's his acting is so, I remember watching something on YouTube that dealt with Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, where they actually analyzed Eric Freeman's acting and said that he was actually a brilliant actor. And they were really looking at it seriously, like not as a joke. And so that's what I kind of thought with Steve Walls is this could be brilliant acting. This could be really good. Like maybe this is, maybe De Niro's crap and Steve Walls is awesome. So
I think Steve's acting is very theatrical. Like it's like a stage performance. And I do think it's a good performance. I like him a lot, honestly.
Yeah, I've now completely turned around. Like I said, when I first saw it, I was like, what is this? What is this guy doing? And now when I watched it this time, because like I said, it'd be the third time, I'm just like, that's it. Love him. Has to be in everything Seb makes. I demand it. I order it, So now camera question, which is the depth of field. Did you choose to have and I'm going to be more layman terms with this so people understand it. The backgrounds are always out of focus, but what is in the foreground is in focus. Was that your choice or the DP's choice?
Kind of neither. That's just kind of the nature. I can't remember what model of camera was shot on, but that's just kind of the nature of that type of DSLR. Like there's not much wiggle room with it. One's in focus or the other. So, between one or the other, what's up front and center will have to be in focus.
Is that when you saw the footage and it came out, were you like, oh no, it's all out of focus? Or were you like, oh, this looks great?
No, I was like reviewing the footage as we shot it. So nothing took me by surprise. I control a lot of elements of the cinematography. Like I like to, compose the shots myself as much as I can and whatnot. But, that was just like the result of the nature of the camera we were shooting on.
Yeah, because I like the look of it. That's it has a kind of film noir look, which is what they always used to do, back in the 50s and stuff. And it was to save money. Black and white footage back then was to save money. But shooting also out of focus and stuff is that you could blur all that stuff out and people wouldn't notice. So I like the look of it. So that's why I asked, because some people it's more of an kind of an artistic choice to do it that way. And like my DP on Aximus 2, Matt, he gave me the choice. He's like, do you want to do it this way or do you want to do it that way? And I said, well, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it where everything is blurred out in the back and the foreground is in focus. So so he just gave me that option. Now now I noticed on the Being that there was a button that says "Disco Still Sucks." Yes. Mother's Day reference by chance?
Well, in a vague way, yes, because that button comes from Greg Lamberson's Johnny Gruesome, which I worked on. And
okay.
One of Greg Lamberson's former composers did the music for Mother's Day. So you see it kind of cycles around there.
Okay. So there was a little bit of a, because for people who don't know, in the movie Mother's Day from the 80s is one of the guys thinks disco sucks. And he says it throughout the whole movie, disco sucks. And very funny scene. So once I saw that, I'm like, oh, it's got to be a Mother's Day reference or have something to do with Mother's Day.
The button was specifically there because the lab coat had a logo on it from a local science center that I had to cover up.
Oh, there you go. Good reason. Yeah. You don't want to have anything like that in there. So what was written on the back of her jacket? It said the something.
The doctor is in.
Okay. So, okay, there we go. Now I know what that says. I kept pausing and all that. And I couldn't exactly see what it was. So now the Slimoids, they spit out this kind of slime. And I noticed it's green. Some of it's obviously green. And then there's purple. Is there a third one?
Yep. It's sort of kind of the blue one has like blue goo, like drool on its mouth at one point.
Okay, so we got three colored slimes for the three different Slimoids. And then I did like the skeleton that was in there with the green slime all over it. And so I asked somebody else this question too. When you look for a skeleton like that, do you go, I want something that just looks kind of phony? I'm going to go down to like Spirit Hollywood or Spirit Halloween and go down and pick that up? Or do you order something that's like 5 foot something and it looks very, correct? What do you prefer? Something that looks a little more hokey or a little more real?
It depends on the kind of movie. For something like Slimoids, it's definitely hokey because that's kind of the tone of the movie.
Okay. Yeah, because it looked funny. So especially near the end where you kind of see it moving around with the slime on it. And one thing that I thought was funny is the character of Henry, when he asks one of the main guys to get, if he would like something to drink, and he says no, he just pours all the water out in the sink. And it's just one long of him pouring the water. Was that scripted?
That was improv. That's all Tyler Levesque, the actor who plays Henry.
That was funny and a waste of water.
Yeah.
He could have saved that water for later, or at least put it on a plant. But the scene is funny. And then, I mentioned that and I like how the test subjects become the Slimoids. Like we see the image on each one of them, and then they slowly become that. I thought it was a creative way of us getting a history on the Slimoids. So most people wouldn't even bother, I think. But I think that you did it in a creative way that was quite short and to the point.
Well, it's because, like I said, I used to do these mail-in cameo things, and my one rule is that it has to actually tie in with the plot somehow in a significant way. And I thought, well, that's an interesting way of doing it.
Yeah, it worked out quite well. And the near the end, the mad scientist gets a tentacle that comes out of her mouth. How did that happen? Or the being?
How did we do the effect?
Yeah.
Easiest trick in the book: shoot a profile shot, mouth open, and someone pushes it along the side of her face, so it looks like it's coming out of the mouth.
There you go. Okay, that works. And there was the chainsaw, the plastic chainsaw that was there. Is that a toy chainsaw?
It was in this. Man, listen, that was frustrating. I wanted a real big one, and all we could find was this little one the day of. So, man, that chainsaw is the one regret I have about that movie, I think.
Well, with kind of its sense of humor and stuff, it kind of fits. It still works.
Yeah, I don't think it ruins the movie or anything.
No. And the music. I like the music in it. So you have like some bands playing, then there's just some just like instrumental music. How did you come about with the music?
The score, like the music that plays throughout the movie, that's Dakota Drobnicki, who's a close friend of mine. And then the end credits song is by Mike Treblecock, who I've worked with a couple times now. He's a Juno. The Juno is the Canadian equivalent of an Emmy. Not an Emmy, that's for TV. What's the Grammy? That's it. The Juno's like the Canadian equivalent of the Grammy. Mike's a Juno Award winner, so he's got a good knack for music.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. So, and is there now we already talked about Slimoids too. So when you did this, there looks like there could be a possible sequel at the end. So were you already kind of calculating at that point what Slimoids 2 would be?
Yeah and no. Like I kind of just basically at that point I treated Slimoids like a pilot for a possible string of movies. And I didn't really have a concrete idea of what would a sequel be like. So I just left it open enough that I could do one if I wanted, but closed enough that if I didn't, this could stand on its own.
Are you open to, like, if somebody contacted you and said, man, I love Slimoids, I'd love to do a part 2, would you allow somebody else to do it, or are these completely your babies?
No, I mean, if they have a good idea, and I like the idea, and Dustin Hubbard would have a say in it too, because he's a partial rights holder to the IP. If we both liked the idea and trusted the person, yeah, I'd be open to it.
Because it would, I mean, there's not a lot of people that survive for the sequel. You'd almost have to
just Ethan's character.
Yeah, you would definitely have to bring in a whole new cast. So, which happens every once in a while in these things. So when you were, how much did you say this cost as a total?
800 Canadian dollars, which is like 700 US, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay. And what did you base that off of? Like, how did you know, or is that just the money you had? You just had to make it work.
That's like, well, no, I paid for the whole movie out of pocket, and by the time it was done, that was roughly what I had spent.
Oh, okay. So if it was, if it had to be 1,000, you would just out of pocket just pay 1,000. That's just yeah.
Because I didn't shoot this in like a consecutive block. I shot this over the course of about 3 or 4 months. So it's like I'd work my day job, I'd get paid, I put a little bit into the movie, and so on and so forth.
And you said that Kate came up with the idea for this. Do you know how she came up with that idea? Like, what was the whole concept with it?
Yeah, we were just talking, and we both love like little creature movies, and I was just spitballing ideas, and then she said the title Slimoids, and I thought, there it is. That was pretty much the genesis of it.
Were you now with the title like Slimoids? Were you possibly envisioning something more slimy? Like it would be more kind of like the green slime or something like that.
Yeah, no, I always kind of pictured them being like ghoulies type things. Like I think like slime, the Slimoid part of it, I think it's just because slime is such a good word. It just rolls out nicely.
And speaking of ghoulies, what are some of the influences for Slimoids?
Ghoulies, especially ghoulies too. Munchies, hobgoblins. Outside of little creature movies, there's a bit of like you said film noir. I kind of wanted an element of that with the detective subplot. I really liked the idea of making it a mad scientist movie. So on top of that, there's like a little bit of Frankenstein, a tiny bit in there. There's all these stuff with the actors like talking directly into the camera. That's an homage to Shin Godzilla, because I love kaiju movies. There's a whole every movie I make is like a patchwork of about a dozen things I love, and Slimoids is very much one of those. Okay.
And because what do you think is the appeal of these little critter movies? Why do you think people like them? Why do we have so many of these?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's not one of those things where it's like, every monster you can kind of like look at how it's tied in with us as a society, or how it relates to us at different points in history. Little creature movies don't really have that. It's a strange phenomena. I think that people just like the contrast of small cuteness and weird grossness. I think that contrast is just what wins people over.
Yeah, it's like Charles Band with Full Moon Entertainment. Yeah. He seems to have made a living off of small creatures, while somebody like Bird Eye Gordon kind of made a living off of giant creatures.
Yeah, and I think like it also maybe ties in with the idea that a small thing can hide easily. There's maybe an extra like primeval sense of something hiding in your house that really appeals to people.
Well, I used to say for a long time, and they actually brought it up on the new Chucky show, on the TV show, is weight. Like, why can't you just throw a gremlin off? Why can't you just throw Chucky off? Why can't you just throw a critter off? Like there's no, if one jumped at you, just throw it off. Like in Puppet Master, why would one of the puppets have any sort of way of killing you when all you have to do is just go, get off me? and that's it. And finally, in Chucky, they actually brought that up, where he mentions, are you surprised about how strong I am to hold you down? And finally, somebody actually brought that up, because that, other people besides me must actually mention that, because that's my problem with the Puppet Master films. Is as much as I enjoy them, it's like, don't just Blade could just be knocked right off.
Yeah, I was thinking of that part in Puppet Master too, when the old lady picks up Leech Woman and tosses her in the fire.
Yeah,
like, why doesn't everyone do that?
Yeah, I think the movie would be 5 minutes, but
it's true. Yeah.
I mean, they figured out some creative ways of doing stuff, like somebody slips and they're like, oh, my back, I can't move, I'm paralyzed, my back. Or they're sleeping, or they cut the down by the ankle, they cut the back, and so they fall. So they've kind of figured out ways, but it's nice that some of these films have addressed that type of thing. So, and it's
I tried to do that a good bit in Slimoids, like always have like that shot of the ankle being bitten so that the actor then falls over. So it's, you just have to think these things through. Gremlins, they kind of get away with it because there's so many that they just swarm onto people. So it kind of makes sense. But we only had 3 puppets, so.
Well, and one was a hand. So that could grab people at least,
It's true.
Yeah, so that would, a throat or something like that could be done, kind of like the Zuni doll. I never, I get that it's got a spear, but, come on. I mean, she trapped it and finally got it in the microwave, but still, I mean, you can just grab the spear. But it's a great story and a great short. So I guess, whatever. It's fun. It's film. And then what did I have here? What did I write down? So, so I talked about the sequel. And so you said that filming Slimoids took over several months to put together. What was its, why am I, just, God, what am I blanking? Post-production. There we go.
Oh,
what was that like?
Post is pretty easy. I think it took like a month to cut together, but that was like that wasn't a solid non-stop month. That was like work on it whenever John would have time type thing. So it was smooth. The movie was finished pretty quickly, and honestly, when I got the first cut of it, I was happy with it. So.
And who distributed the film? Was it just done through Dustin Hubbard, or?
So Dustin Hubbard has his own release, which you can still buy, like I said. And Alpha Video did a double feature with Fungus Among Us. And now Tony has graciously put it on this double feature, which is a beautiful package. I can't stress that enough. I am not just saying this because they're my movies. This is a great package, guys. You want to get it.
Yeah, he does a really good job with stuff. So, and he always adds in great, like special features, and because this is some good work on this disc here. So now it's released. Awesome. Basement Videos. What is Basement Videos? Do you know?
Yeah, Basement Video is Tony's sub-label that's dedicated to releasing or doing limited releases of more recent, like shot on digital type movies, because SOVHorror is obviously like 90s shot on videotape stuff. So Basement Video is his way of getting new stuff out there.
Oh, okay. And now it's going out of print. They're not brand new movies, but it's brand new to SOV. Why have it go out of print? Why do some of these go out of print? Do you know?
So Basement Video only operates on limited editions. That's the thing. Like every 2 months, there's one new Basement Video release, and it's only available for that period of time.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad that we're doing this video now. So better than 6 months from now. And so how hands-on are you with making a film? Like, are you really there, or do you kind of let people be free?
It kind of depends. I like to be there. I like to have as much creative control, but I like to be a collaborator too. I'm never against people coming to me with ideas. But at the end of the day, I know what I want, and that's what I want to get, type of thing.
Is it normally like, do you change stuff on the set? quite a bit, or do you just kind of stick with the script?
No, I change stuff all the time. That's the nature of making movies for no money. Sometimes you have no time. The resources aren't there. Things aren't working out the way you hoped they would. And yeah, I don't think there's ever been a single shoot I've been on where I haven't had to make drastic changes on the fly.
Okay. All right. So now we get to Dino Gore.
Yeah.
And which you said you have plenty of stories. So
I do.
Dino Gore, it's a 2020, so it's pretty new. It's unrated. It runs for 57 minutes and 1 second.
Wow.
You use footage from the silent film The Lost World during the opening credits. Why did you choose Lost World?
It's a brilliant piece of film, and it's public domain, and it pads out the runtime.
Okay. And has anybody ever said anything about that? Like, why are you using the classic film in your movie? Is it kind of like Night of the Living Dead, technically, when people used to use that?
Yeah, I mean, it's public domain. Anyone can use footage from The Lost World. And honestly, I just thought it would be a good way of kind of showing off like a prehistoric landscape with no money.
Okay. And you bring up the Hollow Earth theory. Are you a believer in the Hollow Earth theory?
I'm not actually. Jacob Dressler, who's one of the writers, he plays the doctor who gives that opening narration. He mentioned that, and I think that kind of stems from the fact that the MonsterVerse Godzilla movies were just coming out, and those are really centered around the idea of the Hollow Earth theory. So I think it was probably just like some subconscious influence from that.
Okay. Are you a flat earther?
Fuck no.
All right, so now we got 2 conspiracy theories wiped out. So and you have Sean C. Phillips. It does a cameo in the film. How did you get
he's
Sean?
Hilarious. Man, Sean, Sean used to message me all the time like, Seb, I can do a mail-in for this movie or that movie. And it was just like, it was never the right project for it. And then Dinogore came around, and I thought, well, he'd fit the tone of this. It's kind of a goofy movie. It's kind of cartoony. He's got like that good, like over-the-top acting style. So that's why I let him do it.
I have one question about his cameo. He brings up Bigfoot a lot in a movie about dinosaurs. Is that a mistake on his thing, or is that what you guys told him to do? Like find like an urban legend? Or
I told him, that wasn't scripted. He improvised it. And I think because Sean's made like 4 Bigfoot movies now, I think he just really likes Bigfoot. He just really likes Bigfoot.
Screw dinosaurs. I'm going to talk about Bigfoot.
I know. And in retrospect, when I got that scene in, I thought, oh, maybe we should have added a Bigfoot to fight the dinosaur at the end.
There you go. That's the director's cut, the extended director's cut.
Go back years later and add in a Bigfoot.
Yeah, pull a George Lucas and do like a special edition and just shoot just Bigfoot, like hitting at the camera, and then just cut it in with the Dino Gore stuff. There you go.
There we go.
That would work. And of course, Steve Walls is in this one too. He plays the uncle, and he's doing some crazy stuff in there. It looks like he's kind of into the Asian arts or kung fu or something like that with what he's wearing. And what was his character like in this? Because he's so goofy.
He's supposed to be like this tripped out like survivalist guy, and then he showed up wearing this shirt, and I thought, man, that's so crazy looking. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know, like Steve is one of those guys who I just trust. So if he wants to do something, I tend to roll with it.
Yeah, he's funny. I wish he was in it more. So he kind of bookends it in a way. But yeah, I would have liked. But he does fight a dinosaur, or Dino Gore, or whatever they are, mutant dinosaurs.
He fights the dinosaur. The funny thing is that was supposed to happen midway through the movie, but I decided to place it at the end because I thought people are going to like this guy. I'd rather they wait for him to come back than have him die midway through.
And that the dinosaur that he's fighting is called is that the Stego Rex? That's designed by Dustin Mills.
Yeah, designed by Dustin Mills and constructed by Tori Haas.
Okay. And then Dustin Hubbard is one of the producers on this film.
Yeah.
Now, question about the writing. So we have story by 2 people, screenplay by 4 people. It took a lot of people to write this script.
Yeah, don't ask me how. I'm kidding. I kid. So basically, Dino Gore started as a fake trailer that my friend Ken Meehan made. And Kim and Jacob thought the idea had a lot of potential. So they came to me to direct it. They came up with a story, which changed quite a bit. They wrote a script. And then, you know, by nature of myself and the circumstances it was shot in, a lot was changed on set. So John and I both ended up coming up with things. That's why we both have screenwriting credits as well. So technically there's only 2 writers, but 4 people ended up with credits.
Gotcha. Okay. And like you said, you directed the film. And then I did look this up because at the very beginning of the film, where like the teacher guy is talking about, he gives us a biblical verse. Yeah. And I did look this up, and it basically, I looked up dinosaurs and the Bible. And there is some mention of something that could be dinosaurs in Genesis, that where they were created on the 6th day.
Yeah, you know, I'm not a believer myself, but I find biblical lore very interesting. And Jacob, yes, who plays Dr. Sarandon in the beginning and who wrote co-wrote the script, I know he finds that stuff interesting too. So we both agreed that'd be an interesting thing to bring up.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there where because I'm atheist, but I love reading about it and talking to people about it. And the Left Behind series is one of my favorite series, and because it's so bad. But it's interesting because at some point they do say that dinosaurs and man existed. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a weird thing when it's like, but they weren't on Noah's Ark, according to you. And it's just like, oh, well, no, they all drowned. That's why the bones are all under the earth. And it's that because they all drowned. And so it's very weird. It's just like, okay, I don't think, according to science, they never coexisted, but okay, whatever. I believe what you want to believe. And I do have a costume question for you. Yeah. So the gentleman who is wandering around the woods and complaining a lot, he looks like a stoner, but he has an anarchist shirt on. So they conflict with each other. So he should be beating himself up, basically.
And you know, he's an angry character.
Yes. So why was that an intention? Was that done on purpose of, let's make him look like a stoner, but he'll wear an anarchist shirt?
No, the actor who plays that part, Rain Tai, he just always has long hair. So, you know, I knew the hair wasn't going anywhere. The character's written very angrily, so he came up with the idea of wearing an anarchist shirt. The stoner side of it never really connected in my mind, honestly. I just saw the angry side of him.
Okay. And then you have another guy who's wandering around the woods talking about green. Everything is green.
Yeah, that's Keach. That's the cinematographer and editor.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, that was like the movie needed 3 more minutes, so we just went out and shot something.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to. I mean, if everybody's in the cabin, then you have to have hikers, you have to have campers, you have to have, if there's a lake, swimmers or a river or something like that. So you got to get all these people out there to get killed. Yeah. So, you know, and he was out there enjoying the green. So
the green. Yeah.
And the cabin that's in the woods that you used, was the cabin always going to be kind of like that one location focal point?
No. You know, in the script, it's a bigger space, and what I had access to was basically a shed. It was so tiny and cramped in there. There's no room to really do much. Yeah, it's not at all what I envisioned. That's really about it. Yeah.
Well, tell me some stories. You said that you have a ton of stories. So tell me some stuff I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. The budget was about $1,000, give or take. We had a limited amount of time with the crew, or the cast rather, because they were all very busy, very talented but very busy people, and so we only had I think 3 or 4 days to shoot the entire thing. We had a location that was just terrible, terrible, honestly, so cramped, and getting people to and from there every day was a nightmare. It was just rough, dude, and like when we were trying to cut it together, it became a nightmare because we spotted so many things that we did wrong because we were just rushing, and compromising. It, Dinogore is my least favorite movie I've made, mainly for the experience of making it, but also because I'm not crazy about how it turned out. But at the end of the day, it got finished, so at least it wasn't all for naught, and people seem to enjoy it for the most part, so that's saying something.
Yeah, finished, enjoy it, and released.
Yeah.
Twice now, at least, right? So,
Yeah.
Well, what do you consider to be your if Dino Gore is your least favorite, what is your favorite?
Oh, I did a movie that's now available from me. You can go to meltingmanfilms.com and you'll find a link to my Kunaki store. My film, The Abominations of Frankenstein, is probably my favorite film that I've made.
Okay, and obviously it's a Frankenstein film. What else can you tell us about it?
It's a crazy, colorful, super cheap, violent, perverse twist on Frankenstein where Dr. Frankenstein's an immortal Nazi alchemist who's working with his deranged, bloodthirsty assistant to create a modern-day monster.
Oh, okay. And you play the monster, don't you?
I do, yeah.
And do you basically, you're in almost everything you've done? Or at least I think everything you've done, right? You've been in?
I'm trying to think if there's like an exception to that. No, I've been in everything I've made.
Yeah. And how does that work for you as also being like a director or writer?
I'm the hardest person in the world to direct. I hate directing myself. I do. I really do. But I do it because one, I do love to act, and also I know I'll show up. So
there you go. Yeah, I mean, it's always bad when the director is late, but if it's the director, the writer, the actor, all in one person, that's pretty bad. Yeah. So, and for these other films that you've made, your Dracula, the Mummy, the Frankenstein, what influences kind of came to mind while making these types of movies?
Well, the influences, they really vary from movie to movie. So, speaking of Frankenstein itself, my main inspirations were the works of Andy Milligan, like Body Beneath and Blood and stuff like that. And also Jess Franco, his Frankenstein movies, like Erotic Rites of Frankenstein and stuff like that. And also the Hammer movies, Curse of Frankenstein, Revenge of Frankenstein, all of those films. And there's also like a bit of like a Neo Giallo vibe to it. I really like colorful lighting and stuff like that. So a bit of an Italian influence. So for Frankenstein, it's mostly like 70s Euro horror is what I was taking from.
Okay. And you, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see you as a mainstream guy.
Oh, well, I like a lot of mainstream movies. I'm a big Coen Brothers fan. I love the Coen Brothers. But generally speaking, it's just, I like weird shit. I like crazy shit. My biggest influence comes from Japanese cinema. I'd say, like I said earlier, I love kaiju movies. I love old anime, and I love stuff like that, tokusatsu, and I love Italian horror. I love Spanish horror. I love French films like Jean Rollins' vampire movies. So yeah, I like a lot of mainstream stuff, but the stuff that really inspires me is like weird, out there cinema.
What are some mainstream, just regular movies, just a drama or a comedy that you like?
Well, like I said, I love the Coen Brothers. So, "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" Inside Llewyn Davis.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. trying to think of other One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Milos Forman is a movie I love. After Hours, the Martin Scorsese movie. Jurassic Park. I love Jurassic Park. Let me think. There's so many that I do really love. In terms of recent movies, I really loved James Wan's *Malignant*. That one,
I loved it. I've seen it twice, and a lot of people hate that film, and I don't understand it. I don't think it's meant to be taken seriously. It's a comic book. Yeah. It's like From Dusk Till Dawn type of thing, where at first it's the serious kidnapping, Desperate Hours movie, and then it turns into Vampires Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, and then that's the same thing with this, is that it starts off as this serious thing, kind of like The Conjuring and all that, and then it just goes ballistic. It just turns into John Wick.
Yeah, and I remember I saw that in the theater while I was shooting Dracula, and it reminded me why I love horror. It kind of saved my desire to finish shooting Dracula, honestly. I love *Malignant*, and Gabriel is the greatest fucking horror villain of the last 10 years, and he needs a franchise. He needs a franchise.
Yeah, I don't know why people got so much hate from it. I think maybe because just James Wan can make whatever he wants. And
he did.
Yeah, and he should be able to. Like the guy has that golden touch, on stuff, and it's who knew, from going from Saw to Fast and Furious to, it's Aquaman. Come on. Yeah. The guy can make whatever he wants.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like so cool to see, and you can tell that he loves a lot of the same stuff that guys like us love. And to see somebody who's making like $200 million movies use those influences to make what he wants is really cool. I love that. Watching *Malignant*, it made me never want to compromise a vision again.
And one thing that's nice about him, he interacts with people on Facebook.
Yes. Yeah.
He's not one of these people where it doesn't sound like it's an assistant. He doesn't just put up filming movie and then does not comment. Yeah. He will actually comment. And that's one of the things I like about him. That's incredibly rare when somebody that big will interact with people.
Yeah, he's very fan friendly, and he's one of those guys who are, even if he's made stuff that's not really my thing, like the Fast and the Furious movies, I can still look at it and say, yeah, that's a James Wan movie, because he still puts his style on everything that he makes, which I love. Yeah,
that's true. So I got a few more things here on Dinogore. So we have let's see. What are the dino eggs made of?
They were both styrofoam balls that I coated in liquid latex and painted.
Okay. And there is a girl that gets attacked by like a little dinosaur in the shower and she dies. Do these little dinosaurs have names kind of like the Slimoids?
No. Originally, I wanted like each dinosaur to have like a specific personality to it, but Ken and Jacob's idea is more like a vague, generalized group of antagonists. So none of those had names. Okay.
And now, this was something that you had mentioned was your idea. So I kept kind of crossing stuff out. So girls turn into like dinosaurs, and I had before vampires. Maybe I had dino vampires. I had dino girls. I had just dinosaurs. What exactly are they?
One of my things is I love female monsters. I love them. I love a female monster. That's one of my things I put in almost every movie I make. And so that was kind of my idea. And I kind of wanted like something that was really crazy and absurd to end the movie with. So I thought dinosaur zombies. So I don't know. I pulled it, I just pulled it right out of my head, and there it was.
Yeah, and the fangs that they're wearing seem to be quite long, like normally longer than a lot of the ones that you would just buy in like a Halloween store.
Yeah. Those were like what do you call it? Spirit Halloween fangs.
Yeah, when I was watching them, I thought of the like those old Roger Corman films that he bought from like Russia. Yeah. Back in the day, like I wrote down two of them: Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet, and then also like Voyage to the Planet of Prehistoric Women. And they always had a. Oh, go on.
You're very close, actually, because what I had in mind visually was Al Adamson's Horror of the Blood Monsters, which was a similar thing, where he took I think a Russian movie and then added American actors into it.
Yeah, they always had like the really kind of like fake looking vampire teeth. And then, they would dress them up almost like cave women or something. And then they'd have spears and stuff. But that's what, it really reminded me of that. So, let's see, what else do I got? I got girls turns into, you get your eye eaten out.
I do.
Yeah.
I love like killing myself off in my own movies.
And I'm glad to see that it grew back. So,
thank you. Yeah, me too.
You're welcome. Now, I call these Jim Wynorski credits. So it's normally in the end credits, you see the actor in a few different scenes, and then their name pops up. Is that where you got it from?
I got it out of the necessity to pad out the runtime.
Okay. Thank you for being honest. Yeah, you always see it at the end of his stuff, especially the Corman films during the 80s. And so I go, somebody obviously watched the Jim Wynorski film.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that, because I think after I finished Dino Gore, I rewatched Not of This Earth with Tracy Lords and Arthur Roberts. And I saw that he did that, and then I thought back, Return of Swamp Thing does that. I think Chopping Mall does that. So maybe it was like a subconscious influence. I'm not sure.
I think it's a better way of doing it than just repeating the beginning credits again. At least it's a little different. Because I've seen some filmmakers will just take the beginning credits and then just slap them on the end. And it's like, oh, good. The beginning credits again. Awesome. No creativity there at all. So it's, so what, I don't think I asked, like what films did influence Dino Gore? I don't think I asked that.
Like B dinosaur movies, to like an extent, stuff like Carnosaur. But the basic idea on paper was Evil Dead with dinosaurs. So like I'd say the first Evil Dead, and then also towards the end, especially like when the baby dinosaur goes through the woman's stomach, I was thinking like Lamberto Bava's Demons, again an Italian horror influence.
And are there what are some bad like dinosaur films? Because you said like you really liked, you said that you really liked like Jurassic Park, but what are like ones where it's just like, oh God, this is awful.
And even a bad dinosaur movie I love. The Land Unknown from 1957, Unknown Island from 1948. I don't know, name any Sci-Fi Channel dinosaur movie from the last 15 years.
Is that something you would do? Is something like that where you combine two creatures together?
If the idea was there and like the budget was there, especially to do it right, then sure.
Dinoids.
You see, I wanted dinosaur people all over Dino Gore, and I think Dinoids was a name that was in my head at one point.
Yeah, one of the ones that for dinosaur stuff that comes to my mind that was pretty bad, and I've tried to like it, is The Last Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. I just couldn't.
I hate the first hour, then I love the second hour because I love like the gothic mansion imagery. I love like the dinosaur perched in front of the full moon and stuff like that. Like, oh man, like all that stuff's so good.
Yeah, I just don't. It's like they were desperately trying to figure out a way of getting the dinosaurs to the mainland, but it's like you kind of figured it out in part two. I mean, we did have a T-Rex running around Burbank, so
yeah, I don't like that first hour. I'll give you that.
And it's sad when the dinosaur falls off the pier.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like, man, I know what they were going for, but it felt too mean-spirited for me.
Yeah, just kill him. Just kill them all off. Yeah,
I wasn't crazy about it.
No. And And so the I want to mention the special features on this a little bit more. So we got so you do 2 audio commentaries on this, which sound very good. Your trailer reel, it's 6 minutes and 15 seconds. So you got Dinogore, you have Lycomator, you have Blood Rites of the Now I say vampire, but you say vampire.
I say vampire. People say vampire. It's the same word. So
okay. And tomato type of thing.
Yeah.
The Abomination of Frankenstein. So you got some good stuff on there. Are these going to be released through SOVHorror at any point? Is that why their trailer's on there?
I don't think so. Tony's a good guy in the sense that he never has like his own personal interest in mind when it comes to this stuff. He's trying to get the artist's work out there. So he just wanted that platform to promote my stuff, which I appreciate.
Yeah, because those trailers for Vampire and Frankenstein look really good.
Yeah, so I'm very proud of those movies.
And now, which is it, Dracula or is it Vampire? That's the double feature with Frankenstein.
It's Vampire. Dracula is probably not going to be out till maybe the end of 2022.
Oh wow, that long.
It was a big production. It's got a long post ahead of it. It was a weird experience for me because like it was produced and written by somebody else. All I did was direct and act in it. I don't even know what's going to happen with it in terms of post-production, truthfully.
So how do you feel about doing that type of thing? Because you mentioned it, the same thing with the Jekyll Hyde movie. How do you feel about directing somebody else's script when you've done so many of your own?
I like it as long as I can, like any director would want to, as long as I can put my own stamp on it, then I don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a couple other things with the special features. So there is an interview with Dustin Hubbard that goes for 9 minutes and 3 seconds. And then where he talks about both films, both Slimoids and Dino Gore. And then there's the interview with Dino Gore writer with Jacob Dressler, and that's 6 minutes and 56 seconds. So I'm guessing because you did the audio commentaries, you didn't want to do an interview.
Yeah, I thought of doing an interview, but at the same time, when you do like these kind of things, you got to step back and ask, well, are you just going to be reiterating the same info? If that's the case, then what's the point? So I thought maybe it'd be best to let some other people who don't often get to share their thoughts on the finished product share their thoughts.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good. And are you a hands-on person when it comes to like editing and all that stuff?
I tend to, trust the instincts of an editor because I'm not an editor myself. But that being said, I'll be shown a first cut and I'll make my notes. And if I am not happy with it, then we'll work together to make it something I'm happy with. So I'm hands-on in the sense that, I want what I want, but I'm not going to sit there and cut it myself.
Okay. Do you ever think that you will be? Is editing a thing for you?
I used to edit my short films, and honestly, I just find the process kind of deflating. I just, I'd rather focus my energies elsewhere. So
it can be very frustrating at first. I love editing, but when I see everything together, I'm like, oh my God, this isn't going to work. This is garbage. I'm going to delete everything. I'm going to quit. I'm just going to go work at Safeway or something like that. This is horrible. This is garbage. And then once you kind of get into it, you're like, oh, okay, all right, I'm fitting this here and fitting this there. Eventually it all works out. But for me, I'm more of like a chaos editor where it's everything is everywhere and it's a giant mess and it's horrible.
Yeah, I get that.
Are there more places where people can watch and purchase these, like Tubi or anything like that?
Well, Ouija Mummy's on Tubi. The Slimoids and Dino Gore are not. They're only available on DVD right now. Blood Rites of the Vampire you can rent on Vimeo on demand, and that's about it, really.
Okay. When are some of these other ones going to be coming out? Like, when can you get these to kind of have the whole collection?
I'd really like to have Frankenstein on Vimeo on demand early, 2022. I'd like to have it on Tubi as well at some point in 2022. Slimoids is a short movie, so it's a tough sell on VOD, so it'll probably never have a VOD release. Same for Dino Gore. But you know, the never say never. Weirder things have happened.
Right. And you have a lot of kind of hands, you know, on with your films. Do you prefer to work more independently, or do you like to work with others?
I like to work with others as long as we're all in service of the same vision. You know, it's like the old adage that it's easy to get people to make a movie. It's hard to get people to make the same movie.
Oh, okay. And what film of yours that you've made do you think that type of thing, like what film do you think really just gelled and just worked out perfectly? And I'm guessing then probably Dinogore would be the one that didn't gel perfectly.
Yeah, Dino Gore's the one that didn't gel the best, and that's mainly just because of like the situations where it was shot and how it was shot. The one where it gelled the best was probably honestly Blood Rights of the Vampire, just because my producer and director of photography, Brendan Peterson, he understood what I wanted and he knew how to focus it. So that was a good working relationship.
And as a director that started off doing, let's say, I mean, you even showed me a short film that you made back in school. How do you feel that you've grown as a director all the way up to now making this Dracula film?
You know, it's really interesting because it's been like peaks and valleys in terms of quality and happiness with my work. I don't know if there's ever been like steady growth. It's mostly been like climbing uphill, dip a little bit, climb back a dip, climb, so on and so forth. But I'm at a point now where I feel like I'm just about here. And if I can get there and stay there, I'll be happy. So I'm close, I think.
Okay. And would going back and doing something like Dinogore 2 or Slimoids 2, do you think that's a step backwards?
I don't think it's a step backwards. It's just that I have so many other stories that I'd like to tell. And I'm at a point right now where I'd like to stop making movies that are very quickly done and focus, like, take a lot of time to make one really good thing. So that's what I'm going to be doing from now on.
Are there films that you now look at differently? Not your films, but just like films that have influenced you. Maybe you said you've been doing this for 6 years. So 6 years ago, maybe something really stood out to you. But now you're looking at it going, oh, that why did I like this?
No, not really. Because even if something hasn't aged well for me, I can still look at it and think, I see why this matters to me.
Okay. And what would you tell people, like, what about independent film do you like? What attracts you to independent film, micro budget films, you know, no budget films? What do you like about them that you could tell people, you know, that why they should watch them?
Because they're unpredictable, they're wild, and you never ever know what you're going to get with them. And that goes for making them and watching them.
Yeah, because it's very important to support these people. And this, I think, shows supporting.
Yeah, thank you.
That's supporting right there. So if you guys aren't supporting in some sort of way, and it can be buying, it can be helping with crowdfunding, it can be sharing a trailer, it could be any of that type of stuff, then you're doing something wrong, I think.
Yeah.
Because there are some directors out there who just won't share anything from anybody. They just refuse to do it. And I think that's very selfish.
It's people are strange.
They are. Yeah. And so name, because we're going to wrap this up soon. Just a couple more questions for you. Name something good that happened, and it could be on Slimoids or Dinogore. Something bad that happened on set, and then name something good that happened on set.
Something bad that happened on Dino Gore is we had trouble maneuvering the Stego Rex puppet, and there are many shots in the movie where you can see the edge of where the puppet ends, so it just looks like it's floating, and I hate that so much. So something good that happened. Also on Dinogore, I met Vicky Bittis, who went on to star in Blood Rights and Frankenstein, and she's one of my favorite people to work with. So,
see, that's great because you work with a lot of the same people. I've noticed this
yeah.
cast and crew. And how do you think that those relationships begin? Like how do you pick her, for example, to be in your film and then continue having a relationship?
I picked her to be in Dinogore because she was available and I hadn't worked with her before, and I thought she had an interesting look. And then when we were doing Dinogore, I saw that she was really like, she had a great physical presence, and she has experience doing like contortionism and expressive dance. So I thought, well, there's my vampire. And then while doing vampire, I thought, wow, she's got such an expressive face. So well, she's perfect for Frankenstein. So it snowballs. That's the way these relationship works.
Yeah, because it's I always find it interesting that when filmmakers work with the same people constantly, and that could be cast or crew, like what is it that kind of clicks between these people that everybody wants to come back to make something? And why is it that some filmmakers, and this could be low budget or big budget, they just make a film with one person and then they never make a film with them again? You know, it's just like, oh, what happened? I guess,
you know, it kind of just boils down to like
excuse me.
It's like a friendship or any kind of relationship. You know, the chemistry has to be there. You have to be on the same wavelength, and if you're not, you're not, and if you are, then cool, this can keep going.
Yeah, because you see, like what does Spielberg like in Tom Hanks that he always works with him now? You know, what does Scorsese like, you know, in De Niro or Leonardo DiCaprio? You know, he works with him a lot. What does, you know, Tarantino like about Samuel L. Jackson or some of the people? Like what clicks between them that they always come back? But yet you have certain filmmakers that will just never work with an actor again. I just find that to be very interesting.
Like Scorsese and Liotta.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, very interesting. So okay, well, let's what would you like to plug? It could be past, it could be present, it could be future. Lay it all out there for people. What do they can expect from you?
The Blood Rights and Frankenstein DVDs available right now. Go to the Melting Man Films Facebook page. There's a link to the website there. That links to the Kunaki store, and it's a beautiful package. It's a double feature with both movies. It has new wraparound segments by Vicky in character hosting each film. So that's a cool addition to it. And yeah, that's the main thing I want to plug. I hope people check those out. Okay.
And yeah, because I'm going to go check it out. And because that's one that I want to own, especially if it's a double feature. So I love that type of stuff. And then, yeah, then head over to, before it's gone, you know, SOVHorror.com.
Grab it while you can.
Yeah, because it's these, when it's gone, it's gone. And I even did a video, like a special video just on out of print titles, because I own a ton of these. And so, yeah, you got to pick them up. So, all right, Seb, thank you very much for being here. I really do appreciate it. And these are some of your earlier stuff. So I'll have to have you back for some of your later films. So
anytime. This was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. And so this will be out within like the next week or so. And yeah, I guess that's it. So thank you again. Thank you everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you on the next One Filmmaker, One Film. Bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for hanging out after the video, and thank you for watching the very first Dark Park Films sponsored video. And who is that sponsor? Well, I've now learned if I do this with my hands, they go to the right area. There we go. That would be Wildlife Command Center Coffee, and you can purchase it right there. You can go to their website, which is buyWCC.com, and pick up their coffee. They have 2 blends, which I'm going to show you now. The first coffee is this one right here. This is a breakfast blend. It's 10 ounces and it is a medium ground. And it does say, and it's breakfast, like I said, and this is what it says right here. It says, early bird can catch the worm. So there you go, a breakfast blend coffee that helps you catch the worm in the morning. And I really like this one. I'm more of a breakfast kind of blend coffee guy in the morning. So this one I really like. It has that little bit of oomph to it to kind of get you moving, get you up and out. And so I really enjoy this one, but that doesn't mean that I don't like the other one, which is this one right here. This is a dark roast. It is also 10 ounces. And both of these are $7.99 at their website. Pretty good price for 10 ounces worth of ground coffee. This one is, it's a little darker. So it's, I think it's better for drinking at night. Maybe if you're, writing a screenplay or if you're filming, this has got that oomph, that double punch to get you going. So this is one that I also recommend. I like both of these quite a bit, but I kind of do, the breakfast in the morning and then the dark more at night. So I recommend both of these quite a bit. And how did I find out about these two, these two coffees here? And how did I find out about Wildlife Command Center? Well, when I was working on Night of the Zomghouls, there was a box of coffee that was just sitting there filled with coffee. And we didn't know what to do with it. Like, whose is this? Who brought it? Why is it here? And so we just kept going to the store and buying coffee. And then one day I said, why don't we just get the coffee out of the box and use that instead of, wasting money on going to Smith's or whatever and picking up coffee. So we did. We did not realize that it was the Wildlife Command Center coffee and that it, was sponsoring the movie. And it was great coffee. Everybody loved it. And we just went right through it. By the last day of filming, this coffee was gone. And I went and found out, about Wildlife Command Center, asked if they would like to be a sponsor for Dark Park Films, for their coffee. As many of you know, I love coffee. I love coffee mugs. And so this was a perfect match. And Wildlife Command Center is great with animals. So they provide a great service for rescuing animals. So it's kind of that double whammy for me, where coffee, helping animals, you can't go wrong. And they were even cool enough to send me, get in there, a coffee mug, because they knew that I liked coffee mugs. And right now, I don't get that. That a little bit. I'm going to go on the keyboard, but that's their dark blend, because I'm recording this at night. So I am actually drinking that while recording. Also, one thing that you can get at their website, which is cool, is you can get this. There you go. This pocket knife, which is $9.49. And this is pretty cool because it has their name on it. Wildlife Command Center, we can catch it. And this is what it looks like. Put that down there. There we go. Fully out. So you're getting like the bottle opener, you got the corkscrew, you got a screwdriver, you got a blade, and then you got this little hook thing that you can pop it into something that doesn't have a tab, and then the liquid or whatever in there will come out. So this is pretty cool. And I'm just going to keep mine in my car because you never know. You might need a pocket knife. So please support them. I'm going to have links down below, where you can, check out just the Wildlife Command Center. I'll also have a link for Wildlife Command Center coffee. And it will basically be for both these guys right here. And please support them. I support them. I think what they do is pretty awesome. And, maybe this coffee will be on your set or in your kitchen. It will definitely be, on my set, in my kitchen. I know that. So please, once again, I'm going to show you these. Please go to their website and pick up their coffee. and make it part of your day or night, depending on which one you like. So that'll be about it. I really appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with me. And yeah, so thank you. And once again, please support my channel. Please support the Wildlife Command Center. And I will catch you later. Bye.